Arranging in a descending order, letter D, 5 and 7 hundredths, negative absolute value of negative 5 and 7 tenths, absolute value of negative 8 and 2 tenths, negative 7 and 9 tenths, and 1 over 4. I want to arrange in descending order. Descending means from big to small, but first I have to bring out or get out or the values from the absolute value. So negative absolute value of negative 5 and 7 tenths, I keep the negative outside the absolute, and this number will get out of the absolute 5 and 7 tenths. This negative number will be out of the absolute in positive number, and this positive number will face the negative sign in front of her, so it will turn to be negative 5 and 7 tenths. What about absolute value of negative 8 and 2 tenths? Is this a negative number? It will be get out as 8 and 2 tenths, and this is negative 7 and 4 tenths, and this is 1/4. I can rewrite this 1 over 4 as 25 hundredths. You know that 1 over 4 is 25 hundredths. To compare, I should be fair, so I change it into P decimal number to be able to compare, and I have to start with the biggest one. Where is the biggest one? Biggest one means I gonna choose between the positive values. I have here 5 and 7 tenths, 5 in whole, and I have here 8 and 2 tenths, 8 in whole, and I have here 25 hundredths, 0 in whole. Which is greater? For sure 8 in whole is greater, so the biggest one will be absolute value of negative 8 and 2 tenths. This is the first one I write. Then which is greater, 5 or 0? For sure 5, so the next one will be 5 and 7 tenths. It will be the next one. Then which is greater? For sure the positive one, which is 1 over 4. 1 over 4 or 25 hundredths. This is the equivalent decimal for it, so I wrote. Then which is greater, negative 5 and 7 tenths or negative 7 and 9 tenths? The great in negative, so the greatest will be the smallest, and the smallest will be the greatest. So negative 5 in whole and 7 tenths will be greater than the smallest one ever will be negative 7 and 9 tenths. Question number 4, compare using greater than, less than, or equal. 3 over 9 and 3 over 5. I have here two fractions with like numerator. Up is the same, look down, down is crazy, so it do the opposite. It will say that 5 is greater than 9, so that 3 over 5 is greater than 3 over 9. Letter B, absolute value of negative 3 and 1/2 and 3 and 12 hundredths. To compare, first I said you have to get out this number outside the absolute value, then compare between them. I have here negative 3 and 1/2. It will be out 3 and 1/2. Now let's compare between 3 and 1/2 and 3 and 12 hundredths. I have to convert this into decimal to be both of them as decimal. 1/2 means 5 tenths, so I can rewrite it as 3 and 5 tenths. Now can you compare between two decimal number? I have 3 in whole, 3 in whole. Whole is the same, look at the decimal. I have here 12 out of hundreds, and I have here only 5. I'll add 1 0 to be 50. So that 50 out of hundreds is greater than 12 out of hundreds. So this value will be greater. Letter C, negative absolute value of negative 1/2 and absolute value of negative 1 over 8. First, get them out, then reread the question again. I have here negative outside the absolute, so this value will be out of the absolute as 1/2. So it will be negative 1/2. And on the other side, I have negative absolute value of 1 over 8. It will be out of the absolute value as 1 over 8. Now I have negative fraction and positive fraction. For sure, the positive is greater. The positive is greater than all the negative numbers. Letter D, 21 and absolute value of negative 21. It will be out of the absolute value as 21 in positive. Now I have here 21 and 21, so it will be equal. And remember when we said that the absolute value of the two opposites is equal. So here the absolute value of negative 21 will be positive 21, and it is the same as 21. Letter E, negative absolute value of 1/3 and the negative 5/10. So negative absolute value of 1/3, it will be out of the absolute value as negative will be the same, and it will face 1/3 out of the absolute value. Now I have to compare between negative 1/3 and the negative 5/10. Negative 5/10 means negative 1/2. So to compare between these two values, I will say that I have here negative 1/3, negative 1/2. To compare between them, I'm going to get the LCM, negative fraction with denominator 6, negative fraction with denominator 6. Here I multiplied by 2 down, by 2 up, it will be 2, by 3 down, by 3 up, it will be 3, so that negative 2 is greater than negative 3. So negative 1/3 is greater than negative 1/2. So it will be greater. Number F.